Let's write a program to demonstrate nested classes. Here we have the outer class, which have an instance variable called a. And this is a main function. We have another class. Inside the other class, we have a method. So let's first do the basic. Let's create an instance of other class. And we call other class a method. In the a method, we create an instance of outer class. And let's first expose the int a. Out get a. Okay. We're trying to print out the instance variable of outer class, which should be 0 because nobody have changed it yet. Okay, you see. Now we are trying to add a static nested class. Say static nested class. Inside this class, we can have a static method, void a method. Here we are trying to change the value of a, give it 1100. It won't allow. And what's the error message is that cannot make a static reference to the non-static field a. You see, you are a static class and you are trying to reference an instance variable. It's not allowed, so no way. If you really want to change a, this is how you do that. You can first create a new instance of outer class. And since now you have an instance, you can change the instance variable. Okay, this is allowed. You can change to 100. However, that doesn't help because you just change the instance of this one. This out still remain the same. Don't believe. Let's just create an instance. Let's just call the static. Let's just reference the nested static class. We first get the enclosing class, then we can access a nested static nested static class. Okay, and we can have the a method called. And again, we're trying to print out the instance variable of the enclosing class. It didn't change. You see, still 0, even though you changed the instance variable of another instance. The out didn't get affected. This out didn't get affected. And then how about if I have a non-static method, say a method 2. Here, can we access a? Still, you can't. The error message is the same. Cannot make a static reference to the non-static field a. You still can't. However, if outer class have a private static int called b, if that's 100, and you can change it. B equal 200. You can change it again. B equal 300. Nothing prevents you to do that. Let's prove this. Let's create a getter for B. So we just call a method, and let's print out B. You see, B is changed to 200. If we create, okay, the nested static class have a non-static method which is not accessible through the static reference. So in order to access the A method too, we need to create an instance. So how we do that? We use a new keyword, and we get a reference of the nested static class, and this is how we create an instance. Then we can have access to A method too. Once we do that, we can print out the value of B. Let's don't print out A. Let's print out B. Remember, this time B should be 300. Surely, it's 300. We have go through the static nested class. Next, let's create an inner class. Inner class is the nested class without a static keyword. Again, it can have a method. In the A method, it can change the instance variable of the enclosing class. Here we can try to demonstrate the variable shadowing. Say the enclosing class already have an instance variable called A. However, the inner class can have an instance variable with the same name. And make this more fun, the method can take a parameter with the same variable name as the instance variables. So here, if we are trying to print out print line what A is, what we get is a closest scope, which is a method parameter. What if we are trying to reference the instance variable of the inner class? We use this keyword. Now, another question is, what if you want to reference the instance variable of the outer class? You have to specify this is scope. So you do the outer class, then this. At this time, this means our class is this. So even for the inner class, we can be more specific. If you didn't specify the scope, compiler finds the closest scope for you, which is the inner class. But if you are specific, the compiler don't have to guess. So those two lines are the same. If you are trying to reference this outside of the outer class, you probably use this kind of syntax, the full path. Of course, the A is private, you cannot do this, but those three lines are equivalent. They all means the instance variable of the inner class. Now, we can even change the instance variable of the outer class inside the inner class, even though it is private. That is different from the nested static class. Static nested class cannot access any instance variable of the enclosing class, but inner classes can. So we have doing this. Let's demonstrate. System out, print the line. And the first thing is we print some delimiter. So after this mark, everything is done through the inner class. First, we need an instance of the inner class. So how we do that? We first have a reference of the inner class. Outer class dot inner class. Okay, in equal. In order to access a new keyword, we have to do it through the through the outer class's instance variable. Okay, now we have that. Let's create the instance of the inner class. Our first to try is this. Okay, it won't work. The error message, just a whole bunch of blah 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 blah. So what the problem is, you need to remove this. And now you just get an instance of the inner class. Now you can call a method and pass in a parameter. Let's say 133, 3, okay. And after that, let's print the instance variable of the outer class. See if the inner class can really modify it, even though it is private. Let's run the program. You see, the parameter, method parameter, is the first one printed out. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we should make them the same, otherwise there's no difference. We make this inner classes instance variable to be 10. Outside is 0. And let's see. The first is a method parameter. The other three is the inner class's instance variable, those three lines. The last one is a outer class's instance variable. It is 0, then we change it. Then we get a and print out is really modified. We have talked about the inner class. There are other types of inner classes. One is a local class. So let's say our outer class have a method. Inside the a method, we have a class, local class. Local class have a method. Okay, we like a method a lot. A method, here we can change the value of the enclosing class. Instance variable of the enclosing class, let's say 5000. And the warning is we haven't used it yet, so let's just use it. Local class lc equal new local class. And let's call the a method in order to modify the outer class instance variable. Now Let's see the effect. First, the delimiter, and let's call out.a method, which creates that local variable and modifies instance variable. Let's print out the after effect. Okay, it's changed to 5000 as expected. One thing to mention is the local class is only existed in the class of the method body. You cannot reference it outside the method body. Even though you make it public, it doesn't make any difference, and you cannot make it public. Okay, here in equal modifier local class, it cannot be. And you can create another method and trying to do a reference that local class. You can't. Local class cannot be reserved to the type because the scope is inside a method's method body. This is not allowed. Not allowed. So finally, we will talk about the Polymers class. Let's first create an interface. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello interface have only one method you need to implement. Let's say void say. And we can create an instance variable of the outer class with the type say hello. Say hello s equal. Okay, we can say hello. Can we create that instance? No way, because this is abstract interface. You cannot create an instance of an interface. You have to implement the abstract method. So let's do override that say. It's complaining about the visibility because by default any instance method are abstract and public, so you have to make it public. Now it's happy, and let's do system out print line hello, and again we can change the enclosing classes instance variable. We just change it to 1000, and let's try to run it. Here, let's first print out the delimiter, and through the out we get that instance variable s, and that's through that instance variable we're trying to say. Okay, after say we check the after effect. Run it. Let's really after say hello and modify the enclosing classes instance variable to 10,000. So far we have demonstrated 4 types of nested classes: static nested, inner classes, local classes, and anonymous class. That's the topic of this video.